This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. I'm going to ride on the word you just heard, success, because we want you having success in your life, moving your life forward. And one way to do that, and it's so simple, and whenever I mention it, many times people say, well, how's that going to make a difference? Yeah, I should be doing that, but how is that thing going to make a difference? That thing is gratitude, being thankful for what you have, even the little things. Why does this work? Why does it even make a difference? We're going to talk about that today. And she is somebody that obviously practices that and so much more. She's a master Reiki practitioner, life coach, has intuition, has a new book we're going to talk about as well. Katy Anderegg is back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, Steve. Thank you for having me again.
Before we do anything, gotta say congratulations on your new book called Love, Light, and Healing, which just debuted on Amazon. Congrats. Great book.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a work in progress over the last 2 years, and I am just grateful that I've been able to share my personal story, and I really invite the reader into my own life and just basically have a conversation with them about what I went through, my depression, stress, anxiety, not fitting in, and finding a way out, finding a way to get through all that stuff, rise above, and just live a more enjoyable life. So I hope
It's,
people enjoy
oh,
it.
completely. The book is inspirational. It helps you understand spirituality. A lot of people gravitate away from that because they think, oh, wait, that's too deep or that's religious. No, it can be if you want it. But um, I, I, I appreciate the time and the intention you put into the book because I truly believe everybody can relate to that book. And there's some things you even identify in childhood that are relatable. Now, I want to bounce something off of you because I have this theory, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but I saw it in the very beginning of your book. The first memory of your childhood you revealed wasn't the best one. Don't even
Mhm.
need to get into it, but it's just not a great memory.
A happy memory. No, it's not.
I'm the same way. And I feel that many times our first memories aren't that great because it's there to protect us. We bring up the negative stuff because we want to stay safe. So we never want to go back to that or a situation like that. How do you feel about that thought?
Oh, yeah. That's a great tendency that we have is to often ignore the harmful, the negative, right? It's kind of like an experience that we have and then learn from it. But we were like, oh, well, that was awful. I don't ever want to do that again, right? I don't ever want to experience that again. But then, in that, we sometimes don't allow ourselves to fully understand or express what happened to us in that situation, right? We can sometimes get a lot of feelings and emotions and just um, trauma, basically, from that can end up storing within our memory bank, our subconscious, in our body, and we just tuck it away. We tuck it away because it was so awful. We do not want to relive that again.
Mm.
And what I say to that is that will stay with you as a memory because it'll always come back, right? We just have those thoughts that always come back to us like, oh, it was just awful. Oh, I felt so shameful. I felt so embarrassed, or I just felt so angry and frustrated. I could just, you know, um, but it keeps coming back to you. So there's something there that's calling out to you saying, you're
Mm.
not healed. You're not healed.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's calling you to that situation for healing. So it is negative, it's harmful, it's hurtful, it's awful, right? But when we face that negativity, when we face those awful feelings, and we just sit with them and allow ourselves to process the depths of those feelings, that's when it heals. That's when those emotions begin to release and lift, and that anxiety, that stress, that worry begins to dissolve and go away.
Mm.
And we can then move on in a better space and move forward and live a more enjoyable life. And we can still learn from that, but it doesn't have to control how we live today.
I completely agree with you. The stuff that those memories that are challenging, painful,
Hmm.
it's coming up because your body is saying, "Hello, you got
Yeah.
to help me over here. I need to heal from this. We're not done yet. So I'm going to give it to you again, and then I'm going to give it
Right.
to you again." And a lot of these things that we deal with, call it traumas, short of abuse. Take that, put that over to the side. That type of thing. That can be. But that's not necessarily what we're talking about. I
Yeah.
mean, the memories of your parents,
Hmm.
and you reveal it in the book,
I do.
about them fighting,
Hmm.
and your dad leaving. The same situation over here. I can
Yeah.
totally relate to it. And the memory I have of my mom and dad, it's exactly what you got, fighting
Yeah.
over a
Yeah.
checkbook. How much
Oh,
this week?
right. Yeah. My parents were fighting about adultery. But yeah, it's that charge, that negative charge, those negative energies, the anger, the frustration, when somebody's witnessing that, especially a young child. I was 2 years old,
Yeah,
and that was
yeah.
my first memory. We don't know how to express, how to take that in, how to even comprehend that. And so that stays with us through adulthood until we can finally have the words, have the thoughts, have the capacity to even begin to process something like that. Because yeah, we absorb everything that we see around us when we're kids.
Mm. And what do we do in those situations when that stuff comes up, or it's just sitting in our subconscious, our memory? What do we do? We
Yeah.
find relationships we think are going to help heal us that don't support us. They're toxic.
Hmm.
And when that doesn't work, we do it again. And
Right.
and then
Yeah.
we do it again. And then we
It's
say,
the
what
feedback.
what's going on? There's no good people out there. It's the same people showing up. Oh, I can't even deal with that. They're all crazy. Well, you asked for it. You brought it into your life. You attracted it. I know that's a little harsh, but that's kind of the truth of what's going on.
And but that is the basic truth.
Yeah.
It is harsh when we really sit down and realize, like, God, I I'm attracting this to myself. What? It's hard to take at first,
Yeah.
but when we can get past that and really begin to just with no judgment and no pressure or blame, like just begin
Yeah.
to examine what's happening. Like it really is okay. Like it's okay. All of that happened, as hard as it was, it really is okay. Find a trusted counselor or a really good trusted friend that you can share your emotions with, that you feel comfortable releasing that. I did it all on my own. My favorite time to release all my own energy was when I would take Epsom salt baths. I'd set really soft music and light candles, and I would just sometimes just cry, let it out. And, that emotion, that energy is just being released and it's being healed. And I would often feel so much lighter afterwards. I
Well,
journal, I go for walks. I mean, there's lots of different ways to process.
Reiki being one of
Reiki
them.
is one of the best ones. Yes, when I discovered Reiki, it helped me heal even deeper. And it really helped me like discover more truths about myself. And that really opened up a lot of my spiritual intuitive channels that allowed me to see that not all the energy I was feeling happened in this life. As
Mm,
crazy as that sounds, we have other experiences in other lives, or what people call past lives. So we carry some energy with us into our current lives that, are lessons for us to learn from. And that's what all of these negative situations are, is just for us to learn and grow from. It's not for us to get stuck in. It's not for us to feel like we're a victim or, need. When we're in that place of need or lack, we're going to send that out into the universe, and that's what comes back to us. So being in gratitude, when we sit in gratitude, it's just a shift in your perspective. And it's easy to be grateful when things are going your way and all wonderful, bright and shiny. But when we can sit in gratitude in our pain, that's when true transformation comes.
Mm. It's almost when you're in that situation, it's like, you had a wound
Yeah.
and, when you were a kid, pick the scab, pick it just a little bit. I know this is gross, but now you're
Yeah.
back to the wound and the gratitude is the healing of that wound. And if you're able to pick the scab, when you're going through a tough time, it can totally refocus, reclaim your life. Why do you think it works?
Why? I, Gratitude is the energy of love.
Okay.
And I believe that the essence of who we are is divine love at our soul core. And when we align ourselves with that energy, breakthroughs happen.
Mm,
Fear dissolves because it's illusionary. It's not real. Those fears are not real. It's not who we authentically are. I truly believe we are souls here living a human experience, just carrying out all these different emotions and complexities. And it's what keeps us kind of separated, feeling lonely and dark and depressed. It's because we don't know who we truly are. And when we sit in gratitude, that energy of love, we begin to discover who we are. And so, how often do you wake up and say, I am so grateful for waking up today? I am so grateful that I am breathing. I am so grateful that I can walk out of bed, right? How grateful are we for these insignificant things that happen every day? And we're just here, you know? So,
Do you feel you mentioned this, and I wanted to get even more clarity. We're disconnected from ourselves, and that's where a lot of this goes wrong.
yeah. So that disconnection is what happens when we incarnate here on Earth, right? We are separated from the divine source. Some people call it source. Some people call it spirit of the universe, God. There's lots of different names for it, but it's all the same. And it's in that separation of our dense form because we're here in 3D form. We can feel, touch, taste, and sense all, through our five senses. And we're here just to experience all these wonderful things, all these different creative things that we can do. And there's a range, right? From what people think is good, what people think is bad. And it's the whole gamut. There's a multitude of expressions that we can live out here on life. And I think that's just a way for our souls to expand,
Mm,
is to learn from all of these different expressions that we can do. We have that free will, but it's a choice to go back and be grateful and to find our divinity, to live in that alignment with divine love. And I gotta tell you, it's either like living in fear all the time, how I used to, stress, anxiety, worrying about what other people thought, or it was leaning into the fear of the unknown and exploring what kept tugging at me, from within, the whispers of my heart, the whispers of my soul, the things that I was too embarrassed to explore and, but really wanted to because I was worried about what other people thought. It wasn't normal. It's not normal to lean into the psychic, the mediumship, the spiritual, the Reiki, those things aren't widely accepted in a lot of spaces, especially where I'm at in the Midwest. Um, I'd say the West Coast is probably a lot more open to that, but
mm. Well, Um, have you heard this? And this is a little woo, that if you're grateful for things and you express it, the universe hears it
Mhm.
and wants to give you more of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's that feedback loop. So just like how you have a feedback loop when you're in fear, you attract more fear. When you're in a space of gratitude, when you can shift your perspective, even in the darkest of times of your life, and being grateful for all the crap that's happening, literally, the universe hears that. And it's like, okay, you're starting to notice, and we're going to send you more. We're going to send you more because you're now in that positive feedback loop of love and gratitude, and your life just continues to expand and expand in that way.
Does it work the other way? Where if you're asking for, and you don't even know, like let's say you're, some say many are addicted to suffering. We're in that loop of just woes me. And I'm not minimizing anything for anybody,
Right,
but the
right.
victim mode, like, oh, look what happened. Oh, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to vent on to others, but if you just live that way, you feel that the universe is going to hear you and say, oh, well, they're talking about that a lot. I'll throw a little bit more
Right.
to them.
So I think there's a couple things in there, right? There is that victimhood kind of mentality of like people want to be heard but don't want to change anything, right? So they're going to stay stuck. But the other thing is like you can still vent. I still vent, but I'm still grateful. And it's again a shift in perspective of like, yes, I need to get this out of me so it doesn't stay stored and stuck. I can journal about it. I can talk to a friend about it, my husband, but I know that I'm going to get through it. I'm looking for things, I'm looking for guidance from my higher self, from my spiritual team to help me get through it because I don't want to stay stuck. You know, it's it's a shift in perspective. So, yes, I do believe some people get some sort of benefit, right? We get maybe some attention or some sort of like, I don't know, government funding benefits and stuff like that. You know, it's whatever the benefit is. Somebody is getting something that they do want to stay in that mode, and that's their choice. You know, I mean that's okay. It's their choice. It has to be up to them if they want to do anything to make their life better.
How do you practice gratitude?
How do I practice gratitude? You know, I simply, it's not hard. I just sit and take a moment and just really feel it in my heart. You know, I journal about it, I write things down, and even when I'm feeling some harsh emotion, like recently some betrayal, some lying has been happening to me, and it hurt. It hurt bad
Sure.
because, you know, I trusted these people and um, this new adventure I was taking, and you know, I didn't. They pulled the wool over my eyes. Literally, they're very good at being deceptive,
Mm.
and you know, I didn't see it
And
right
it's, I got
away.
to tell you, I relate. Every situation different. Um, that's one of the worst things.
Yeah,
It
you
is.
know, so me being a highly intuitive person, I still get tripped up. It happens, and what I do is, you know, I still feel my emotions, but I sit and I ask for that help, and I am just as grateful as I can be in my pain, right? It's not always fun, but you know, I just acknowledge that God, I feel hurt right now. And I don't project hatred on them or blame. You know, there's something in me that a lesson, and that's the hardest thing. There's a lesson in there for me to learn. And you know, we don't always want to look at things that way.
Hmm.
We often want to point fingers like, well, you did this to me. But that's not the case. In fact, Um, it's an energy within ourselves that is attracting that betrayal, that lie. And it's just something, again, for us to learn and grow from. It's not anything for us to get stuck in, but we still need to process those emotions that come along with it. So it'll take some time for me to heal fully from that. But when I begin to acknowledge my emotions and my feelings and the situation and kind of examine it from almost a third party perspective, right? So I kind of step back from it a little bit, get a little bit of distance if I can, and observe it just from an observer's perspective can really be beneficial in helping look at the more traumatic situations in your life.
Is there a lesson in everything?
Yeah. I believe we are either learning something or teaching something in every situation.
So I
And
agree with
both.
you. I'm going to add one more in my belief. Learning something, creating something, teaching something, because we're here to create. Why are we here?
Yeah.
Somebody created us, our
Yeah.
parents, if you want, or whatever you want to
Right.
believe.
Yeah.
We create things all the time. You created a book that
Yeah.
people are going to learn from,
Mhm. That's a
or
really
you're
good
teaching.
addition. I
Yeah,
love that. Yeah.
yeah. I just,
We are
um,
here to create,
yeah.
and we can create in whatever intention we want. Where does your intention stem from? Does it stem from fear or does it stem from love? Those are the two places. I mean, you can label the emotions, right? Those specific emotions if you want, but ultimately everything either comes back to love or fear.
Hmm.
So
Some of this stuff is the hard pill to swallow.
it is.
But once you start seeing it, accepting it, seeing the lessons, I learned lessons this year. I know what they are. Then, not major. Well, major in some regards, but not, completely crippling, if you will, at all. But definitely, I saw them and I saw a pattern. Um, I'll transparently say I started two side jobs, situations, just creating different things, different people, connected with them for years, and went all in. And they're separate. And after a period of time, I realized, well, wait a minute, I'm doing all the work.
Yeah.
And that goes back to me being I want to say former people pleaser. I cut back on that a lot,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
jumped into it. Yeah, I'll take care of that. I got that. You're doing that. Da, 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 da. After a period of time, I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm the only one here really putting all the effort in. I'm not doing it anymore. So
Right.
dissolved both of those. No hard feelings.
Yeah.
And
And yeah,
it's a
that's a big
lesson.
part of it. It
Yeah.
is, knowing when to say no, knowing when to set your boundaries. What are they? What makes sense to you? And these are all very personal things, unique
Yeah.
to each person. And it's just a good way to look at your life. Like, do I feel drained? Do I feel uplifted? We like to do things that make us feel uplifted more so
Mhm.
than drained, right? Because it just feels better. So yeah, keep following that. It's gonna change all the time.
Yep.
It will
So I
change.
laugh thinking of this now, what I just described. I laugh at it because for decades, I've always said it's the deal you make in the beginning. You set the bar, that's the way it's going to be. And Lee Iacocca, the car guy from back in the day, always said, if it's not in print or on a screen, it doesn't exist. So in the situation I described, um, it wasn't fully defined who's doing what. I just assumed we're all on the same page. We're all jumping in together, do whatever it takes. That didn't happen. And I didn't document it. I go on a handshake. Ain't doing that anymore. Less,
Right?
and nothing lost, a couple of bucks, not a big deal. And actually swung back in my favor in one situation. Thank you, universe, as it should. Um,
Right.
that's it, but it's a lesson. And your book teaches a lot. Final question here today. Back to your book for a second. As you wrote it, did you did it reveal something for you that you didn't even realize? Here you are writing a book to help others. Did you see something in there that made things clearer or something fresh came up when you were writing it?
It's a really good question. I would say it helped me heal even more sharing my story.
For you?
It helped me, yeah, get more solidified in my learning of Reiki and my spiritual gifts and who I really am. So yeah, I would say it deepened and strengthened those things about who I am.
Mm. It gave you clarity too.
It did, yeah. And
Yeah.
I continue to learn and grow.
It's written in such a beautiful way where it's easy to understand. It's not, woo or anything like that. It's a story of your life and your journey and where you came from, and then how you discovered energy healing and everything else that we're talking about. The book is available on Amazon now, right?
It is on Amazon.com. You can go to Amazon.com/author/Katy Anderegg, all one word, Katy Anderegg. So,
Gotcha.
yeah,
And that's Anderegg, correct?
it is. Yeah, and Katy is spelled with a Y. So,
Thank you for that. And okay.
yeah.
Love, Light, and Healing is the name of the book. And certainly, if anybody's looking to change their energy, heal in many different ways, or life coaching as well, your website, how do we find you?
Is intuitivehealingsllc.com.
Thank you for all the insight today, Katy, especially about gratitude. And thanks for a fantastic book. And looking forward next time we talk.
Thank you. Have a great
Appreciate
day.
it. You too. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.